Oh, I didn't see you there, guys. Welcome back to another epic video. We're doing part 2 of Rationalising the Denominator. Okay, in this video we're going to learn how to rationalise the denominator for harder questions. So instead of rationalising something like 1 over the square root of 2 or 1 over the square root of 3, where the solution is to just times by what's on the bottom, square root of what's on the bottom, in this one you can't really do that. It doesn't work if something's being sort of added in that fraction. It's much more complicated. Well, not much more, but there's a few more steps. So you need to know a fact. Well, it's not really so much of a fact, but it's just sort of true. If you have something on the bottom, you know, it doesn't matter which one's rational or irrational. I could have written these the other way around, doesn't matter. What you need to do is times both sides, up, top and bottom, by this, what's on the bottom, but you must change the sign in the middle. So if that's a plus, change it to a minus. If it's a minus, change it to a plus. And I promise you, it will do something very special. So let's try it. Let's I don't know why I keep writing random things over there. Let's try and times both sides by, this would be called the conjugate of 1 plus root 3. 1 minus root 3 over 1 minus root 3. Again, that's equal to 1, so it's not changing the number by doing this. This is 1. We're timesing it by 1, but in a very elaborate way. So 1 times 1 minus root 3, if we sort of cross multiply like this, we get 1, I've already written it, times, or sorry, add 1 times minus root 3. Ends up being 1 minus root 3. 1 times anything is just that thing. So that's all right. Now on the bottom, it's a bit crazy because we're going to use our expanding brackets knowledge again. So let's have a look. Let's do our ones. 1 times 1 is 1. Let's do outside. So 1 times minus root 3. It's minus root 3. Let's do inside. 3 times 1. Root 3 times 1 plus root 3. And let's do the last. Root 3 times minus root 3 is minus 3. Now, you'll notice that these can cancel out, so I'll write it down here again. You get 1 minus root 3 over 1 minus 3. Because minus root 3 plus root 3 is 0, so we don't need to write it. And that is equal to 1 minus root 3 over, well, 1 minus 3 is minus 2. So we've got 1 minus root 3 over minus 2 is equal to this here, 1 over 1 plus root 3. If you want, you can take this negative and you can distribute it to the top, and you can write it without having to do a negative denominator. So you can write root 3 minus 1 over 2. So you can actually go from here to here just by saying that's a negative 2. I'm going to have the negative be at the top. That's allowed, that's fine. So we're going to times this whole thing up just at the top by minus 1. We're effectively timesing the top and the bottom by minus 1, which again is fine because minus 1 over minus 1 is 1. And we end up these swapping round because it's being times by minus 1. Both of these are right. You could write either one of them. If you don't see how I got this, don't worry about it because this is also correct. And again, we've got a rational denominator. The top is irrational, but no one asked. So the solution to this question would be either this or that, depending on what you fancy. There are lots and lots of different questions that they can ask you about this. And it's really important that you learn that. Did you guys like my impression of someone who thinks this is a good topic? This is an irrelevant topic. They won't really ask you many questions about this, in all honesty. It's really good to know how to do it, but just so you know, if you have a calculator, it will rationalise the denominator for you, so you don't even have to do it. You can just put in, actually I'll show you. Okay there guys, so I had to actually shine a torch on this to see it because it's so dark, but if you, as you see here, if you type in 1 over 1 plus root 3 on a calculator, it'll give you this. And this says minus 1 plus the square root of 3 over 2. That is the same thing as the square root of 3 minus 1 over 2. They're just written in a different order for some reason. I think it likes to put rational numbers first. So again, do as many practice questions on this as you can. Seriously, there's loads and loads to do. They can also give you questions where the top and bottom are irrational, and you have to use some surd laws in order to calculate the answer. They can genuinely get quite tricky. So seriously, I'm not even joking. Definitely make sure that you're onto this. I personally actually had a right issue with this when I was learning it, when I was in year 12. I genuinely found it to be quite difficult. Yeah, so it can be a challenging topic, but that's okay. See you guys in the next video.